Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we are looking at some seriously valuable US coins.
Ooh, sounds interesting.
I think so too.
Uh,
We've got a YouTube video from the channel Variety and Errors. It's called 10 Most Valuable US Coins.
okay, and what else?
And an article, Top 20 Rare Coins Wanted by Collectors. It's from a site called Gainesville Coins. They deal in precious metals.
So we've got the super rare museum piece coins,
Right,
and then the ones that are maybe a little more attainable.
exactly. Let's jump right in. How about we start with those crazy expensive coins from the YouTube video?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so the number one most valuable coin, according to the video, is the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
And get this, it's estimated to be worth like $22 million.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
It was actually part of this collection called the Three Treasures. It belonged to a guy named Stuart Weitzman. He also had a super rare stamp and a comic book in the collection.
So this coin is like more than just money at that point.
Totally, it's like a cultural artifact. Okay, next up we've got the 1849 Double Eagle. This one's valued at over $18 million, and it's part of the Smithsonian collection.
Now that's what I call a museum piece.
Right, and it's an uncirculated, gem quality condition, which means it's basically perfect.
It's incredible to think that something that old could be in such good condition.
I know. It makes you wonder about, like, all the people who might have touched it over the years.
Yeah, the stories it could tell.
All right, rounding out the top three is the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it's pretty famous. It actually broke the $10 million mark back in 2002, which was a record at the time.
I can only imagine what it would go for today.
Seriously. And this one was part of something called the Cardinal Collection. It was this collection of super rare, high-grade coins.
Wow.
It was struck on a hand-turned screw press, which is part of why it's so valuable.
It's crazy to think about how much work went into making these coins back then.
It really is. Like, each one is a little piece of art.
Definitely.
So those are the top three. Pretty impressive, huh?
Very impressive.
But, like, let's be real. Most of us aren't going to find a $20 million coin just lying around.
yeah, that's true.
So let's talk about some of the coins from that Gainesville Coins article, the
Yeah.
ones that are, a little more attainable.
Right.
They put a $1 million cap on the coins in their article.
Okay, so still pretty valuable.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But not quite as astronomical as the ones we were just looking at.
I can work with that.
You mentioned condition earlier, and it seems like that plays a big role in how much a coin is worth.
It's a huge E factor.
So how does that work exactly? There's like a whole grading system, right?
Yep, there is. It can get pretty complex, but it's basically a way to assess the condition of a coin. Things like wear and tear,
Okay.
scratches, luster, even eye appeal.
Wow, so it's like a beauty contest for coins.
Uh-huh, kind of. But it's serious business. There are professional numismatists who specialize in grading coins, and they use like very specific criteria,
So they can tell you how much a coin is worth just by looking at it.
pretty much. And then
Yeah.
you've got organizations like PCGS and NGC. They're the big players in coin grading and authentication.
So if you're like buying or selling a valuable coin, it's a good idea to get it certified by one of these organizations.
Exactly. It gives you peace of mind.
For sure. Okay, let's talk about some of the specific coins on the Gainesville coins list. There was one called the 1909 SVDB Lincoln cent. Have you heard of that
Oh,
one?
yeah, that's a classic. It's the one with the designer's initials on it, right?
Yeah. VDB for Victor David Brenner.
And there was a big controversy about that, wasn't there?
There was. People thought it was like too much self-promotion. So they ended up removing the initials.
Interesting.
But the early coins, the ones of the S mint mark, they already had a low mintage. So when they removed the initials, it made those coins even rarer.
And more valuable.
Exactly.
It's crazy how a little detail like that can make such a big difference.
Right. Okay, here's another one. The 1943 Lincoln cent on a bronze planchette.
Oh, yeah. That's the one that was struck on the wrong metal, right?
During World War II, they were using steel to make pennies because there was a copper shortage.
Right.
But a few of them accidentally got struck on bronze planchettes, which were left over from before the war.
So it was a mistake?
Yeah.
But a valuable one.
Definitely. And there were all these rumors going around about how much they were worth. Some people thought they were like super valuable.
Either created like a treasure hunt.
Exactly. People were searching their change jars hoping to find one of these rare pennies.
That's cool.
Okay, how about this one? The 1937 D three-legged buffalo nickel.
The three-legged what?
The three-legged buffalo nickel. It's missing one of the bison's legs.
Haha, no way.
I know, it's pretty wild. Apparently, it happened during the polishing process. They, like, accidentally polished off one of the legs.
Wow. So you can actually tell that it's missing a leg just by looking at it.
Yep, it's pretty noticeable.
That's amazing.
So another error coin.
Another valuable mistake.
What's interesting to me is that, like, all these coins have stories behind them, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
They're not just pieces of metal.
Right.
They're like little pieces of history. Each one is unique.
Definitely. And that's what makes them so fascinating to collect.
I'm starting to see that.
Okay.
Okay, next up, we've got the 1856 Flying Eagle cent. This was the first small cent.
Okay.
And when they announced that they were making a smaller cent, people started hoarding the old, larger cents.
Makes sense.
So it's a classic example of how, like, a change in design or denomination can create a surge in interest
Right.
and value.
It makes you think about, like, the psychology of collecting, you know?
It really does. Okay, one more before we take a quick break.
Sounds good.
The 1848 CL Liberty Headquarter Eagle. This one's special because it was the first coin to be struck from gold mine during the California Gold Rush.
Ooh. Cool.
I know, right? It even has a little CL marking on it.
So it's like a little piece of history.
Exactly. All right, I need to grab some water. We'll be back in a flash to dive into even more valuable U.S. coins.
Can't wait. You know, it's crazy to think that people were hoarding those big old pennies.
I know, like, what were they thinking?
I guess they just thought they'd be worth something someday.
And they were right.
Yeah, they were.
Okay, where were we?
Oh, we were talking about the 1848 CL Liberty Headquarter Eagle, the one from the California Gold Rush.
Right, that one's a real beauty.
So we've talked about mintage numbers, historical context. What else makes a coin valuable? I mean, besides the condition, of course.
Well, the design is important too.
Okay.
Like, some coins are just more aesthetically pleasing than others.
Right.
They have unique design elements that make them stand out. Like the 1921 high relief peace dollar, for example. It has this really high relief, which means the details of the design are more pronounced.
So it looks more three-dimensional.
Exactly. And it was actually really hard to strike these coins because of the high relief, so not many of them were made.
Which makes them more valuable.
Right.
Speaking of design, what about the 1916 Type 1 Standing Liberty Quarter? I've heard there's a kind of a scandalous story behind that one.
Oh, yeah. The original design showed Lady Liberty with, well, with what?
With an exposed right breast.
No way.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
I mean, it was 1916, right?
Exactly. People were not happy about it. So the mint quickly redesigned the coin and added some chainmail to cover,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I get it.
So those original Type 1 coins with the exposed breast, they're super rare and valuable now.
Of course they are. That's crazy.
It's a good example of how even a design flaw can make a coin more valuable.
So you're telling me I should be looking for flawed coins?
Haha, not exactly, but it's definitely something to keep in mind.
Okay, what about the 1919D Walking Liberty half dollar?
Ah, that's a good one. It's what we call a conditional rarity.
Conditional rarity.
Yeah. So they actually made a lot of these coins, over 1 million,
Okay.
but most of them got put into circulation right away, so they got worn down pretty quickly.
So finding one in good condition is really rare.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that makes them more valuable to collectors.
Like, the less there are, the more people want them.
Pretty much.
Okay, this next one sounds like a big deal. The 1893 Gaité Morgan dollar.
Oh, yeah. The 1893S is the holy grail for Morgan dollar collectors.
Why is that?
Well, for starters, they only made 100,000 of them, which is a tiny mintage.
Okay.
And then, to make things even worse, a lot of them got melted down.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so there are even fewer of them around today.
So if you find one, you've hit the jackpot.
Pretty much.
Okay, this is what I'm realizing. Like, these coins aren't just about the money, you know?
I know what you mean.
It's about the history,
Yeah.
the stories behind them.
It's like holding a piece of the past in your hand.
Exactly. Okay, let's jump back in time a bit to the colonial era. There's a coin on this list called the 1652 New England shilling.
Oh, wow. That's one of the earliest coins minted in America.
Right. And it was even before the U.S. Mint was established.
This shows you how resourceful the colonists were, you know?
They were like, we need our own money. Let's make it happen.
Exactly.
So let's say I'm like a brand new coin collector. Where do I even begin?
Well, first of all, do your research. Learn about different types of coins, grading systems, all that good stuff.
Okay, and then what?
And then I'd say start with coins that you're genuinely interested in.
Like, if I'm really into Lincoln pennies, I should focus on those?
Exactly. Or if you're fascinated by gold coins, start there.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What else? Don't expect to get rich quick. Coin collecting is a marathon, not a sprint.
True.
Enjoy the process of learning and discovering new coins.
And remember, it's not all about the money. It's about the history, the art, the stories behind the coins.
Well said. I'm feeling inspired. What other cool coins are on our list?
Let's see. There's one called the 1933 Indian Head Gold Eagle. That's a good one.
All right, let's talk about that 1933 Indian Head Gold Eagle.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'm intrigued.
this one is pretty wild. They actually struck over 300,000 of these coins.
Okay.
But then the government issued this gold confiscation order, and almost all of them were melted down.
Wait, what?
Yeah, crazy, right?
So how are there any left?
Well, a few of them managed to escape. Probably because some people at the moms realized they'd be worth something someday.
So they, like, saved them from the melting pot.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So are they super valuable today?
Oh, absolutely. They're incredibly rare, and they have this amazing story behind them, so collectors love them.
Makes sense. And you usually find them in really good condition.
Right. Yeah, that's another thing. Because they basically went straight from the mint's vaults into private collections. They never really had a chance to get worn down.
It's like holding a piece of history that was almost lost forever.
I know, right?
Okay, what about the 1861 S. Paquette's reverse Liberty Head Double Eagle?
Okay, so this one is interesting. It has this unique reverse design that was created by an assistant engraver.
As assistant engraver.
Yeah, his name was Anthony C. Paquette, and the idea was to make the dies last longer.
Oh, okay.
But it didn't really work out that way.
What happened?
Well, the Philadelphia Mint realized that the new design had these rims that were too narrow, so they stopped making it. But the San Francisco Mint didn't get the memo in time, so they ended up striking a bunch of these coins before they switched back to the old design.
So it was an accident.
Yep. Happy little accident for collectors.
It's crazy to think that people were just, like, spending these coins without knowing they were special.
Right. You never know what you might have in your pocket.
Okay, one more. The 1907 High Relief Wire Rim St. Gaudens Double Eagle. That's a mouthful.
It is. It's one of the most beautiful coins ever made, in my opinion.
What makes it so special?
Well, it has this incredibly high relief, which means the details of the design really stand out.
Right.
But the high relief made it really hard to strike the coins. They had to use so much pressure that it created this thin, wire-like rim around the edge.
So it's like another accidental design feature.
Exactly. And it makes these coins super valuable.
We've seen that a lot today, haven't we?
We have. It seems like the most valuable coins often have some kind of unique story.
Yeah, like an error or a controversy or even just a weird production quirk.
That's what makes coin collecting so fun, you know.
It's like a treasure hunt.
Exactly. And you never know what you might find.
Well, I have to say, you've convinced me. I'm officially a coin enthusiast now.
I knew you'd come around.
This has been an awesome deep dive. We've learned about so many amazing coins, and I'm really starting to appreciate the history and the artistry behind them.
It's been a pleasure sharing my knowledge with you.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable U.S. coins.
And if you ever find a 1933 double eagle, give us a call.